without any further ado, let's get casting. Welcome in to GSL Antigua Shipyard for today's first game, our bronze match between the Killer Pikachus and Team Kessel. Spawning down here in the lower left-hand corner in the yellow color, playing for the Killer Pikachus, it is the Terran player McBainer. And spawning in the purple across from him is Nemesis, undefeated so far in Bronze League play. Can he keep his streak going? Playing for Team Kessel, it is RegnaroL. I'm so excited to be back. I'm just announcing this so you can see that in the VODs. I've been sick for, about a month. I had a sinus infection, I got reinfected, and then hurt my jaw. So it would be miserable to have been casting for you guys, and I'm sorry that I couldn't do any more of it. Although the CTL replays haven't been uploaded either, so it might have been difficult anyway. So we're just going to jump right into week 10 from week number 6. You can catch a little bit up in the standings. I'm going to check really briefly between games. We'll see which standings I actually have loaded up. We can check and see kind of where we're standing. As we're sitting right now before this game, there's 2 weeks to go until the playoffs. This is crunch time. Both of these teams would be in the playoffs if the season ended right now. Kessel on just the verge of the playoffs, and Pikachu's, of course, one of the top teams still, and kind of fresh off their Season 1 win still, carrying that over very strongly. I guess big changes if for some reason you're just watching the CTL and not really a part of it. Team Payback has withdrawn from the competition, and Anarchy has basically folded. They ran into a lot of problems with player participation and their captain. So those two teams are gone. Benevolent Morons have been having a little bit of trouble fighting players, although they're back on track, I will have to say. And we hope to see good things from them. And coming into week 11, the last playoff spot is up for grabs. But there will be more on that later. Into this game, this is McBainer versus RegnaroL. McBainer has started with a gasless one-rack fast expand. And we should see him throw down the command center before too long. He's actually getting a very precautionary bunk, which is very strange considering that he hasn't scouted anything. RegnaroL looks like he wants to go for a little bit of one-base play. Just kind of judging by the relative lack of resources that he has. Usually if you want to go for a one-gate expand, you will start stockpiling minerals. This still could be a one-gate expand, but you typically won't see that third pylon. Just kind of leading me to think about a one-base play at this point. Where RegnaroL wants to go from here. Again, RegnaroL undefeated so far in bronze play. Ooh, yes, he actually gets in from McBainer, able to see everything that's going on. Again, these guys, I believe RegnaroL's in silver. I believe McBainer is still in bronze. So these guys, not exactly the highest level, but starting to develop a little bit of game sense. And we can see McBainer, I'm not sure this is typical for him, but he seems very scared about some pressure. Right now, 2 bunkers, despite only having 4 games. And this will keep him very, very safe from basically any real early all-in. There can be some really nasty all-ins that get thrown his way, and RegnaroL actually is going to go for that next. This is a little bit late, down at 30 supply, but nothing too wrong with that. He's just going to be a little bit behind economically, and as I say that, he's up 25 probes to 21 SCVs. So McBainer has been dropping a few SCVs. We see he's actually not producing one right now, and he's actually completely supply blocked at 27. There we go, finally getting off that supply cap. Looks like that was a pretty hard supply block for McBainer, unfortunately for him. But he does have his double gas up after this, has his 3 barracks, everything looking very, very standard. We should see that factory probably as soon as he gets to 100. We may see some add-ons instead. That'll kind of indicate what we're going to see from our yellow player. I have to say, spending their money very well in the third game, and RegnaroL going to go up for 3 gates and the robotics facility. It looks like he does want to put on a little bit of pressure. It looks like he poked at the front with that stalker, found the 2 bunkers, and we can just kind of see the general scouting information for RegnaroL is actually just those 2 bunkers. So at least he knows where his opponent spawned. and he knows that his opponent's playing really timidly. We'll see if he takes advantage of that and maybe takes a very quick third base, or if we see something a little bit more sneaky, maybe some Blink Observer. Of course, this is a great map for Blink Observer for Protoss, as well as drops for Terran, just because this gigantic cliff face, really easy to abuse in Antigua Shipyard. Again, this is probably the most standard map to play on ever. Starting to get a little bit old. Some tournaments even fading it out a little bit. But we should see. I mean, there's going to be a lot of play on this. Regular throw down the box today. So he's looking to play a little bit more aggressively, it's like. And this will be some sort of two-base push, probably with, I guess, 2, maybe 3 Colossus. And we should see another couple of gateways added on for too long, if this is going to be a standard build, and the addition of the 3rd and 4th gas geysers. McBainer, meanwhile, going to add on his own 3rd gas geyser, start cranking out dim upgrades. That's his factory building that nice add-on, as well as the starport following that up. Now, I have to say, just looking over overall stats, at the bronze level, Terrans really struggled against Protosses. I think this is largely because of the accessible splash damage for Protoss. This Colossus Bay. Colossus are really good, really easy to use units, really easy to micro units for Bronze and Silver League players. Whereas Terran players try to emulate the pros. They're going for Marine Marauder medevac, which rely a lot on your engagement and your overall, I guess, ability to outmaneuver your opponent. I really have to compliment both players, spending their money very, very well for a Bronze Silver League game. Just look at how low these minerals are. The one thing I guess I'd have to say is that McBainer took his 3rd gases a little bit early. He didn't really have a plan for that, so he's just starting to stock gas up through the mid-game. There's nothing too wrong with that. And I actually really like this, especially at lower leagues. Throwing down that tech lab on factory. Siege tanks can give a lot of power, it can help keep you safer, and it's a little bit stronger of a unit composition. It's easier to micro, easier to handle, and tanks are really something that you should be getting used to microing at lower leagues. I guess that's the other big news I've kind of missed out. I got promoted to Platinum. Yay! So I have a little bit more authority. McBainer using a lot of scans, actually, to see everything going on. He was able to spot the Colossus. I always call it Colossus and Colossus Bay, the robotics support bay. He's not reacting very well to this. He keeps making medevacs. I like that he's got 4. 4 is a great number. Now he needs Viking to deal with these Colossus. Colossus just tear through Marines like nothing. He still doesn't have a tech lab on either of these factories, and missing stim, missing combat shields, having Vikings. Colossus are just going to rule everything in this composition, and RegnaroL, I feel like he's aware of that. He's even got this observer in here, probably a little bit aware, not seeing combat shield on guys. Has he popped up into the main? It doesn't look like it. But seeing just pure Marine medevac is going to be a little bit worrying. And by worrying, I mean exactly the opposite of that. And now moving across the map, he does have those 2 Colossus. I believe should be a 3rd one. No, there's not a 3rd one laid. But pumping off 6 gateways, getting a bunch more stalkers. He should be able to bust the front fairly easily. And yeah, our Terran player not reacting very well to scouting Colossus. He doesn't have any upgrades. I'm not seeing this going any way except in the Protoss' favor. There's a scan, he actually finds his opponent's army, and in comes the Colossus. Nice force field, actually. He's keeping, look at the lineup of these Marines. The Colossus just tearing through everything. Marines trying to do something. They're actually on a move command, it looks like. Oh, this is just a slaughter. Did RegnaroL lose a unit? Yeah, I lost 3. Oh my goodness. Oof. Mentor Colossus, Instructor Colossus. That was pretty brutal. Congratulations to RegnaroL, number 1 for Team Kessel. Ooh, a little bit brutal of a game, but again, congratulations to RegnaroL. Picked a good build. McBainer didn't react very well to his scouting information, really needed to get some Vikings, needed stim, he needed combat shield, he needed marauders to try and deal with his opponent's composition, but staying on pure marine medevac, not great against Protoss splash damage. That'll do it for game number 1. We'll head right into game number 2 between the Killer Pikachus and Team Kessel. Don't go anywhere, you're watching CTL, casted by Mary.